This is Proclaim, 30 minutes of news and information from around the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown, and the Proclaim TV Mass live from St. John Galbert Cathedral in Johnstown at 11 a.m. Proclaim is brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation, UPMC Altoona, and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.
I couldn't be more blessed than anyone today. And that's what makes me the most thankful was, just being able to get up in the morning and come here and do what I like to do and be around the kids and the faculty and staff.
Just days before Thanksgiving, a Catholic school principal counts her blessings for those who accompanied her on her cancer journey.
I rely on them every second of every day. I talk to them all the time. I'm always praying for somebody, or something.
And a lovely parishioner is thankful for the joy of her Catholic faith. She joins me for another edition of Proclaim at the Pub. Good morning and welcome to Proclaim for Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, the Solemnity of Jesus Christ, King of the Universe. I'm Tony DeGaulle. Those stories in a moment, but first. The Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown is mourning the passing of a beloved priest, the Very Reverend Joseph Fleming, pastor of St. Catherine of Siena Parish in Mount Union and St. Mary Parish in Shade Gap, and Dean of the Northern Deanery, passed earlier this month after an extended illness. He was 77 years old. He was ordained a priest in 1974. His early assignments included Holy Name Parish in Ebensburg, St. Peter Parish in Somerset, and St. Joseph Parish in Portage. He also taught at Bishop Carroll Catholic High School for about a decade. He served as pastor of St. Mary Parish in Snowshoe, St. Augustine Parish in Dysart, St. Thomas Aquinas Parish in Asheville, and St. Monica Parish in Chess Springs. Then in 2014, Father Fleming was appointed pastor of St. Catherine of Siena Parish in Mount Union and St. Mary Parish in Shade Gap, an assignment he held until his passing. You may recall I just featured Father Fleming on the cover of the fall edition of Proclaim magazine along with Father Justin Treon. Father Fleming baptized Father Treon in 1995, and now Father Treon is leading two of the parishes at which Father Fleming was pastor back in the day. Despite his declining health in recent years, Father Fleming opted to not retire at the age of 75, the customary priest retirement age, and chose to continue his ministry as pastor and dean. A funeral mass for Father Fleming was celebrated this past Monday at St. Matthew Parish in Tyrone. On behalf of Bishop Mark, I extend our thoughts and prayers to the Fleming family and to the parishioners of the St. Catherine of Siena and St. Mary faith communities. Well, this Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving, a day in which the Catholic Church in America joins the rest of the country in giving thanks and glory to God for the blessings we enjoy. It's not a holy day of obligation, but special morning masses will be celebrated that day at most parish faith communities. All are warmly invited to attend. Please consult individual parishes for the mass schedule. Indeed, all of us have reason to be grateful, but there are some among us who are approaching this Thanksgiving holiday with a deeper sense of gratitude than most. One of them is Cathy Damiano, principal of the Fairview campus of Bishop Guilfoyle Academy in Altoona. For the past year, Cathy has been battling breast cancer. It's been a tough fight, but one she's waged with faith and resilience. She's enjoyed a ton of support from her biological family and from her Guilfoyle family, and it appears that there is light at the end of the tunnel. For all those reasons, Cathy is especially thankful this Thanksgiving. It's the diagnosis from their doctor that everyone fears.
It was defined as stage 4 cancer.
When Cathy Damiano heard those words late last year, her life obviously changed.
I was upset, because you don't want to hear those words. Because I feel I've been healthy all my life and never had any medical issues, and then all of a sudden this occurs.
Early this year, she began chemotherapy and the ups and downs that go with it.
So it was just basically one step, one day, 1 week at a time.
And through each step, day and week, her twin sister Beth, a teacher at the El Dorado campus of Bishop Guilfoyle Academy, was right by her side.
It was a struggle for me. And I tried to keep my emotions in check because I needed to be strong for her. Because I didn't want to be upset in front of her, because I knew that wouldn't help with the healing process. So it's been hard.
Cathy's good friend and fellow Bishop Guilfoyle Academy principal at the El Dorado campus, Elaine Spencer, recalls how Cathy initially tried to not burden her with the news.
But I knew, I could hear it in her voice on the phone. I said, just tell me. And she told me, and it shook my world, because we've worked so closely together since 2016, but even before that, we taught together at St. Rose, and I taught with Beth at Sacred Heart. And so I feel like I'm part of their family. So I was struggling with how it was affecting her, and also her family members. But for her to try to shield that news from me, that's just who she is. She protects everyone, and we just wanted to get through it together.
This past August, Cathy developed pneumonia and required hospitalization. It was perhaps the scariest moments of her journey, but true to form, she rallied. During that ordeal and throughout this entire year, Cathy has certainly leaned on her Catholic faith, and she's received love and support not only from Beth and her other siblings, but also from her Guilfoyle family.
BG held the sideline cancer event, so that was one of the things that they held as a fundraiser, because like anything, you just don't know what your medical costs are going to be. And I think that was part of causing a little bit of anxiety, not knowing, what I was going to have to deal with as far as any kind of medical bills and things like that. But there were just different people that reached out that, again, have been in the same situation, just for support and, kind of guiding me and helping me, navigate.
There have been so many gestures, such as these hats, each one representing each grade at the Fairview campus and signed by the students in that class. Cathy wears the hats each day, reminding her of the care of others and that she's not alone.
So when her treatment started down at Hillman, I kind of organized the teachers. They had different themes, so I organized the teachers to go down, have their classes covered, spend 10 minutes down there with the theme, and come back up every week. A different set of teachers went down, 3 to 5 teachers went down at a time. Over the summer, I sent out a group text just to tell the teachers, this is the theme for the week. We would all dress up in those themes.
Just going and being outside the windows and letting her see our faces each and every week and what the theme was going to be. I think even the other patients in there and the nurses look forward to that, but she knew that we all supported her throughout this entire journey and still do.
Just the support from, not just the students in her building, the teachers in her building. It's just, and I think that was so key and important, and because she has dedicated her life. We both dedicated our life to Catholic education, and and want the best for our students, and to see that come full circle with students coming to the window holding signs of encouragement, or students making cards because of the love of their principal.
After this challenging year, Cathy is ready to celebrate Thanksgiving with much gratitude.
I feel blessed that, my treatments have done their job for the most part. I'm starting a second kind of therapy. It's a pill that I'll now take in cycles, and I'll now only have to see the doctor every 2 months, and he'll continue to monitor, and if anything comes up, I'm to call him immediately. But I feel blessed that I'm pretty sure that I don't want to say it's in remission because he hasn't used that word yet, but I kind of want to say it is. But I'll continue to do what I need to do to make sure we keep the cancer at bay.
And the respect and affection for Cathy keeps on coming from those who love her.
Every day, I will say, someone from our Bishop Guilfoyle family says, "How's Cathy? How's she doing?" Or, "I saw Cathy and she looks so great."
I just can't be more blessed and thankful for Kath's good. She has some very good friends, great colleagues, and I have good friends that have supported us through all of this. Because as anybody knows, anybody diagnosed with a cancer treatment, it's not easy. It's not easy to go through. And like Kath said, if you can't go through it alone, because that's when you give up. But there was no give up in her. There were, just so many people that I'm blessed to have in my community. People in the diocese, the education office and all the things that they've done, different schools that have helped financially with support. I couldn't be more blessed than anyone today. And that's what makes me the most thankful was, just being able to get up in the morning and come here and do what I like to do and be around the kids and the faculty and staff.
Our prayerful best to Cathy. And while all of our Catholic school educators are outstanding, there's a core group who served our schools for 3 decades or longer. For them, Catholic education is more than a job, it's a lifelong vocation. Certainly Cathy and her twin sister Beth are among that elite group of educators, so it's been nice to see our Catholic school community journey with them this past year. And as for Thanksgiving later this week, Cathy plans to continue the tradition of cooking the turkey and stuffing for Beth and the rest of the Damiano clan. Blessed Thanksgiving. Well, the gratitude doesn't end there. I recently spent a little time with an alum of Bishop McCort Catholic High School in Johnstown, Dr. Matthew Gaborik, and a current student, Ansley Steigers. The two have much in common. Both battled horrific health challenges and both received tremendous support from so many. With Thanksgiving almost here, they shared with me why they're so appreciative of the Crusher community, their family, and of course, their Catholic faith.
When I was coming towards the end of 8th grade, I started to have some losses of vision episodes, and after an MRI, I got diagnosed with a brain tumor. That summer, literally 2 days after 8th grade graduation, I had my first surgery where they biopsied it, and it ended up being a benign tumor, a juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma on my thalamus, which is like here and here, going towards the brain. Then a couple weeks later, I had 75% of it resected and was cauterized. Hasn't shown any growth in that time period, which is good. Thank God for it, actually. But then after that, it was probably a year and a half later, I started having some headaches and some sleep difficulties and things I still kind of deal with, a constant headache and trouble sleeping. Still seeing specialists to try to figure all that stuff out. And then towards almost at the end of high school, I ended up having a seizure. I had another couple months later. That's been managed well since then, but all kind of starting there right when I was about to graduate 8th grade.
I was born with AML, and we got that cured. Everything was okay, and then 13 years after, I was in deep heart failure and was put on the transplant list. I was thankfully blessed with my heart a few months after being placed on the transplant list, and all was smooth sailing until I got sick the summer of 2024 and discovered I had PTLD, which was a rare complication from the heart transplant, and now I'm undergoing chemotherapy to try getting rid of it. It's kind of a full circle moment, but we're going through it.
I'm especially grateful for them in that first year. My freshman year they really did a lot to make sure that as I was recovering from my surgeries, was still able to, take all the classes and do the things I needed to do. They made adjustments like to make sure I didn't have to carry books around because I wasn't allowed to carry more than a couple pounds. So they made sure I had books at home. They made sure I had books at school to take care of it. And then, I was struggling with some short-term memory for about the first year. Didn't really have much short-term memory, which made learning in classes difficult. And all the teachers, they took extra time to go over things with me, or if they noticed they taught something the day before and were there the next day and I have no recollection of it, they made sure to help me out with that, help bring me up to speed.
Everyone was just super empowering and just cared. Anytime they would see my sibling or anyone, they'd ask how I was doing and say they were praying for me and telling me how much they cared, which was amazing. And then the second time around, they did a big fundraiser with Sideline Cancer and raised money for my family, which was so appreciated. They did not have to do that at all, but it meant so much. And this time, again, everyone's always asking how I'm doing, how's the journey, praying for me, they love me, and it means so much to know that I have such a big community around me that really cares.
After McCort, I went to Notre Dame, graduated 2021 with a degree in biological sciences and a minor in theology, because you had to take a theology class. Ended up really enjoying it. I think CCA and McCort really set me up on that pathway. Then I went to Michigan State College of Veterinary Medicine, graduated just this last May, and right after that I started working in Evansburg at Evansburg Animal Hospital. So about 6 months in right now. Still dealing with some like sleep problems that I kind of mentioned, and headaches, still working with some doctors on that. But I think in terms of where I'm at as a veterinarian, I've grown so much in the last 6 months. I feel a lot more confident in my abilities and my skills.
At first, I thought I'd wanted to go to LSU because I really like Louisiana, but recently I was able to go to Indiana and tour a little bit of Notre Dame, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I'm really hoping I can find something I want to do there that might be healthcare related at Notre Dame. So we'll see where I end up.
I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at today without the grace of God, really. Even like if you think back at my surgeries, what kind of gave me the strength to face it without being too fearful was I knew whatever happened, it was in God's hands. God was going to be with me, good or bad. And I could say I felt like that the whole time, especially, in hard times when I'm having trouble sleeping, I'm tired. I just know I have my good shepherd right with me, helping me along. So it's really been foundational for me. I couldn't imagine who I would be without my Catholic faith. I'm very grateful that my parents made that a priority to raise us, taking us to Mass, teaching us about our faith, made sure that we had a good Catholic education to be able to build on that and make it an important part of our lives.
With this second round, I've definitely realized faith first and everything else second, because that's the main thing keeping me going. Like, definitely not take anything for granted, but the faith is truly what I needed. I have my parents, my brother, and then like my cousins and my aunt, uncle, and my grandparents. Like the whole group. Love them. They're the best. They're my #1 supporters.
Two members of the Crusher Kingdom with much for which to be thankful. Happy Thanksgiving to the Gaborik family, the Steigers family, and the rest of the McCort community.
Proclaim is brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation, UPMC Altoona, and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.
The Independent Catholic Foundation has become the largest charitable foundation in Central PA, with investments aligned according to the ethical, moral, and social teachings of the Catholic Church. Our endowments produce nearly $2 million in financial aid for local parishes, schools, ministries, and cemeteries. To learn more about the Independent Catholic Foundation, call or visit us online. Entrust your legacy with the Independent Catholic Foundation.
Well, I always enjoy catching up with people from the pews, everyday parishioners who find joy in their Catholic faith. Throw in some delicious snacks, and it's all the makings for another edition of Proclaim at the Pub. Back here at PJ's in Crescent, and one of the joys of my ministry is visiting parishes and meeting some of the wonderful parishioners. And not long ago, I had the privilege of meeting this lovely lady, Shirley Patterson, a member of Our Lady of the Alleghenies Parish in Lilly. Shirley, welcome, and thanks for joining me for Proclaim at the Pub. I just enjoyed our chat at the parish not long ago, and I said, she's someone I have to get in the air, just a lovely Catholic woman. So I'm really glad. We got some good food here. I'm not sure if Shirley's going to dig in as much as I am. You know, everyone always tells me, Shirley, they see me at these restaurants eating on the show all the time. They say, how do you stay so thin and eat so much?
I asked you that.
You asked me, but many others do as well. I guess I just work it off. I don't know, but we'll definitely dig in a little bit. But first, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
I've lived in Lilly all my married life and belonged to St. Bridget's Church and then Our Lady of the Alleghenies Church, which I've been very active in both churches all my life. I go to daily Mass. I've done it all the years I could do it. When I wasn't working, I went to church. And take communion to the shut-ins, which is one of my wonderful thing that I did, my husband and I.
Yeah.
We did it for a number of years. We took it every Sunday, and people were very happy to see us.
I'm sure.
And we're so grateful that we came. But it got winter time, and we had some hills to deal with.
Right.
And my husband said, I can't do it no more.
Right.
So we had to stop doing that, which I really miss doing that. I mean, I would like to keep doing that, but
the bottom line, Shirley, is your Catholic faith is really central to who you are as an individual. It really is a big part of your life, and I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, you mentioned you go to daily Mass.
Yes.
I love when people tell me that, because I think, you know, I understand that not everyone has the flexibility in their schedule with work and family demands. It's hard to go every morning to Mass.
Right.
But for those who can, I think it's a beautiful thing. Tell us why morning Mass every day is so important to you.
Because it keeps me close to God. And I really need Him in my life. My husband died in March, and I really need God in my life.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. It's hard to lose a loved one. And
68 years,
68 years, boy, what a long time. Well,
yes.
We'll pray for his eternal rest, and we pray for you. But your faith is really helping you get through that loss.
It's helped me get through it.
Yeah, talk about that, how much you rely on God.
I rely on Him every second of every day. I talk to Him all the time. I'm always praying for somebody or something. We have a prayer circle in our church, and you know, so we pray for all the people that call and need prayers. So I'm always praying.
That's good.
That's it.
Either at church or at home, you're praying.
Right.
That's great. Do you have a favorite prayer? Or do you just talk to God?
I just talk to Him.
Which is a beautiful thing to do. I think sometimes so many people feel they need a prayer book in front of them, but the real key, I think, is just sitting down and speaking to God as if He was sitting right next to you in the room.
Right, that's how you be close to Him.
Yes, it's what I always call it, a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what we should be striving for, and I think you're a beautiful example of that. So elsewhere in the parish, you were a Eucharistic minister for many years, and I think you said to me earlier you were a lector.
Yes.
You know, really being involved in your parish has been so important. Not just going to Mass regularly, but really immersing yourself in Catholic life.
Right, being active.
Right.
And I grew up with that. I had a priest that was my uncle.
Okay.
And I was very close to him, and he had a lot to do with my coming up.
Good influence, huh?
He was a good influence, right.
We need those good influences.
But he's long gone, but I miss him, but
You have been a instructor of religious education in the parish, and I know that's been near and dear to you. Talk about that.
Well, I don't know how I got started in that. I just got started in it, and once I started, then I was there for 30 years, but so I've gone through a lot of kids.
Yeah.
A lot of boys and girls.
And you taught what grades?
I started in 5th grade, but I liked the little kids better. So as soon as there was an opening, I run to 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And that's where I stayed for 3rd grade the rest of the time.
Do you feel that you impacted your kids in the faith?
I'm hoping that I did.
Right.
I mean, I did my best to do that.
No, I'm sure you did, because, you know, young kids, they can recognize authenticity, and you are very authentic in your Catholic faith. So I'm sure that you meant a lot to them as a teacher and a mentor and a friend, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I think so.
So 30 years teaching religious ed, huh?
Because kids that are married how many years now remember me teaching them.
Right.
So
yeah.
I did make an impact on them.
I'm sure you did. Shirley, I'm going to venture to say you have been very blessed in your life. You've had a lot of wonderful experiences.
Yes.
And all rooted in Christ and in the church. And I can't think of a better life to have. So I do feel that you've been very blessed. And as we approach Thanksgiving, it's just days away, I think you have a lot to be thankful for.
A lot to be thankful for.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful thing. And, you mentioned that you recently lost your husband, and I'm sure there are a lot of men and women watching today who are in similar positions.
There are.
What words of encouragement do you have for them, whether they just lost someone recently or it's been years? What words of encouragement do you have for them to hang on to their faith and trusting God to see them through the tough times?
Start spending more time talking to God, like He's right here with us. And you'll get through it.
Beautifully said. I couldn't agree more. Well, as I said, Thanksgiving is just days away. What are your plans? Are you going to be cooking a turkey?
No.
You're going to someone's house.
I got too old for that.
Well, I don't think you're too old for that, but it's always nice to go to someone's house.
I'm only kidding. Yeah. But anyhow, no, the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren have taken over those jobs.
Good.
So, but I'm going to be helping.
Of course.
I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to be helping, but we'll be with all the family.
That's beautiful.
For Thanksgiving. It'll be a good time.
Wonderful. And you have a nice big family, so I hope you have a great dinner and a lot of good family time, just sharing memories and enjoying some laughs.
We will.
What's your favorite dish at Thanksgiving?
My favorite dish?
Yeah. Turkey, stuffing, potatoes.
Turkey.
The turkey, of course, the centerpiece, right?
Right.
Well, I love the turkey, but I'm also a big fan of stuffing.
Stuffing and gravy over.
Gravy, of course, And how about pies? Pumpkin pie, pecan pie?
How about coconut cream?
Coconut cream, it all sounds good.
Well, that's what everybody likes.
I guess. Well,
but I'm sure there's pumpkin pie.
You have to have pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving.
You have to have pumpkin pie.
Right. I love pecan pie, so I always have that, but I always have at least one piece of pumpkin because it's just not Thanksgiving if you don't have that.
No.
So, well, I think I'm getting hungry with all this talk about food. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, but most importantly, Shirley, thank you for being such a beautiful Catholic individual. Our parishes are so much richer because of people like you, so thank you for all you do.
Thank you for your kind words.
All right, and have a very...
And I had my great-great-great-granddaughter baptized yesterday.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful Mass, beautiful baptism.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And the family was all there,
What better thing than to have the family all together as you witness a young one become part of the Catholic faith officially?
That was nice. It was in Indiana, where they live. But it was very beautiful.
Wonderful.
And I told the priest afterwards.
Good.
I loved it.
Good. Well, to you and your family, a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving, a blessed Advent, and an early Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Thanks, Shirley. My best to Shirley there, and as always, my thanks to PJs and Crescent for once again hosting Proclaim at the Pub. That does it for this edition of Proclaim for Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, the Solemnity of Jesus Christ, King of the Universe. I'm Tony DeGaulle. A blessed and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, and stay tuned for the live Mass broadcast coming up next.
Thank you for watching Proclaim. Stay up to date with the latest diocesan news and information anytime by visiting the Proclaim e-news site at proclaim.dioceseaj.org. While you're there, sign up for email updates by clicking on the e-news tab in the upper right. You can also visit the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown website at dioceseaj.org. Don't forget to like the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown on Facebook. Stay tuned for the Proclaim TV Mass live from St. John Galbert Cathedral in Johnstown, brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.